Hello, my name is Perlina Jones. This is my video reflection for IT 720 Instructional Technology Design Theory. This phase assists with the systematic development of the training program, and it involves getting material from the analysis phase to help establish solid components of the program. The design phases of the ADDIE model acts as if it's a blueprint. Blueprint is something that you're going to create and be creative with it. Make sure that you have all the material that is needed in the classroom. Make sure that it is important that you get all steps from beginning to end. And in the class that I teach is a training class. So we have to make sure that we have everything in order, how to take a call, what you're going to start to begin you have to make your introduction, and you have to have a closing on every call. So having the creativity and the logistics is very important during the phases in the class that I teach in the training class. It is essentially important that targets and objectives are established prior to gathering instructional material, because you have to have everything in order. That goes back to the blueprint. The blueprint starts off with one line, so you have to make that first step of getting the things that you're needing. Once your goal and your objectives are established, then it will be more beneficial to do some research and make sure that you're getting everything that that person needs. The instructional material will be most suitable to assist with obtaining the goals and the objective. The development phases is also consists of clarity. It's very good that you make sure that you clarify yourself on everything that is presented to a person when they're beginning a new employment. They're new to it, so a lot of them want to know the ins and the outs. Some of them just want the bare minimum. But it's important that the instructor know what's needed to be taught. To the new employees, make sure they have the ammunition they need before they go on the floor, that they can have each call to the fullest. And then the learners know what they are supposed to learn. When they take the interview, they go over what they're needed to do. They even do some spot checks on reading and making sure everything is intact, and that they know exactly what is expected of them. Let's go on, and I'm going to go on to what areas do you feel that instructional design has considerable impact? Because it has a lot of impact all over the place in a classroom, but I kind of stick with the behavior because I'm dealing with grown people that went ahead and taken out at the time to go complete an application. And their behavior learning theory is very important, because in the classroom they might not think like the other person. I'm going to have 50 different personalities. Some may be similar and some not. But they have to learn that the behavior effect, it sets the damper for the environment and the atmosphere of the class. So we don't tolerate, and I feel that if a person start being a sore thumbs, I kind of utilize that person, especially if they're talkative. I utilize that person for a lot of things to take their mind off what they're trying to do and be more of a helper than a procrastinator, or a what do they call them, class clown. Okay. And it's also important to me that the information that is presented to them is information process theory. That the information is processed, and I need it to be embedded in you, that you want. Forget it. So support the cognitive learning theory that, yeah. It's also the similar theory to the information process for the Gestalt theory, which is the force of learning is on the individual. They have to know what they want to do. They know what is expected of them. So they will have to make sure that they're doing everything to the best of their ability. The advantages and the limitations of instructional design. Advantages and limitations. You have to make sure everything that is advantage is relevance, repetitious, so they can come back and they're going to repeat what they're saying all the time, and flexible. Also, limitation is the cost. Make sure that you're meeting your limit. That's why it's so important to have that need assessment. Quality, make sure you're giving them the quality information that is needed, and the training they can reflect back on when necessary. Working memories, I wanted to point that out because it's the decision-making memory. Because you have some memories that, as is stated on the next point, that is long-term memory. The long-term memory is that valuable memory. It is of value. The preference and the beliefs of the decision maker. Because of long-term memory, you can lose some of it, but if you get back on the bicycle and start pedaling, then it's going to all come back to you. So that working memory is to keep making the right decisions on that phone to tell the consumer the right thing that's needed to be told to them if they lose their coverage and they lose it for various reasons pointed out. If they lose it for non-payment, they will have to wait till the next open enrollment, because anytime that you lose your coverage for non-payment, you will have to have a special enrollment, some type of life-change event to have a special enrollment, or you will have to wait until November the 1st when next open enrollment. And they have to put that in their long-term memory, so when that call comes in, they right off the bat they remember it and they know exactly what it is. So I like to work with the memories. Some's gonna be for a short term, but they will always have something to my LMS or HTKR to fall back on to help their memory be jogged a little bit. Ooh, how would I use instructional design? As an instructional design, I decide I would use various multimedia tools to create a lot of things like developing education to the learner in a way that will benefit the learner. It is also important to me to make sure that the learner is always aware of nonverbal communication, because in the 21st century we have a lot of things that goes on and is nonverbal. It's not what a person say, it's what a person don't tell you when they call in and say, hey, my husband has a new job, and then we got this paper, and then I want to know what do I need to do next. They're telling you we lost coverage, we got this paper, cancellation coverage. Some don't say that. There's a lot of things that they don't say that are the nonverbal, and that's just in everyday life, even with the people you see every day. But for any instructional designer, the perspective, it allows me to choose the various multimedia format as assistive learning tools, such as I say in the training class, its relevancy to the learning process, making sure they have all the tools they're needing, making sure they have all the information they're needing, so they will be successful, and that they will be successful at making sure each consumer or each person that's calling into that call center is not having to repeat a call or calling back to the call center for the same thing. I thank you for listening to my video. I hope you enjoyed. No, I kind of elaborate more on training because I don't have any experience in the classroom as a teacher, but I have more as a hands-on and as a training instructor. Thank you for listening, and you have a good day.